We have details of these and other stories in the next 20 minutes. To stay with us, get interactive with us on all social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. Welcome to the program. Inspector General of Police Dr. George Dampare is expected to appear before a 7-member parliamentary committee tasked with investigating the leaked audio tape concerning alleged plot to remove him from his position. The committee is tasked with unraveling the truth behind the leaked audio tape and determining the authenticity of the tape. The appearance of the Inspector General of Police before the Parliamentary Committee signifies a critical step in the investigation into the leaked audio tape. It offers an opportunity for him to provide insights and context regarding the allegations raised against him. This process is crucial for upholding the integrity of the police force and the country's law enforcement institutions. Ghanaians await the outcomes of this inquiry as it sheds light on the allegations surrounding the Inspector General of Police. Trust us to bring you the live feed when it begins. Away from that, the minority in Parliament has been compelled to once again postpone its intended Occupy BOG protest slated for Tuesday, September 12 to October 3, 2023. The NDC MPs have now agreed with the police on the routes.
The initial meeting with the police was heated, leading to some attendants storming out in anger.
They say they have a problem because the Bank of Ghana is a security zone. So we have asked them, where is the end of the security threats to the Bank of Ghana so that we can terminate them? The regional commander has gone up and down, up and down. Now you are telling us that you don't even agree on the date for the protestation.
Moments thereafter, the leadership of the minority and other civil society groups came out of the offices of the Accra Regional Commander.
I think it's very clear to us that the police are determined to obstruct and basically make sure that they disrupt our planned protest.
In the words of the NDC, the protest will go ahead.
The demonstration starts at Obra Sport, through Adabraka, through Rich Runabout, to National Theatre, then we turn through the ministries, and then we hit the Atamils Highway, we turn right, and then we pass the National Lotteries, and then we terminate at Kwame Nkrumah Mausoleum.
But shortly after the meeting, the minority came to an agreement with the police.
In spite of the back and forth, we were able to agree on a new route and a new date. So now the protest is going to happen. We have agreed on a route that we believe will serve the purpose. In the end, we expect the governor himself to meet us somewhere determined by the route and obviously to take the petition from us.
Let's do more stories. The Electoral Commission says it has factored the concerns raised by some 5 political parties regarding the limited voters registration and has made arrangements to cater for them. Deputy Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asare, says this is not the first time the Commission is undertaking such an exercise at its district offices and that it will not deprive anyone from registering.
Chairman of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Bosman Asare, says the EC is rather eager to register all eligible citizens and has considered all concerns raised by the parties.
And as a listening institution, the EC is so very, very much concerned about ensuring that all people who are qualified also register as voters. So we are beginning the exercise. If it demands that we make some tweakings, some changes here and there, the Electoral Commission is ready to do that. We shouldn't forget that this is the commission that in 2020, in less than 40 days, we registered about 17 million people. So if there is an institution that is committed to ensuring that the citizens register those who are qualified, is the Electoral Commission. When we hear that people are saying the EC is going to disenfranchise some people, I find it very, very strange. Because our district offices are well equipped. For each district, we have registration teams. And each district is capable of an average of about 300 people per day. And we are looking at 21 days. Although we concede that some places are far away from the district offices, what we are saying is that this is not the first time we are registering at the district offices. Just come with your Ghana card if you have one. If you don't have the Ghana card, just come with your Ghana passport. In the absence of either the Ghana card or the Ghana passport, just get 2 people who are already registered voters to come and guarantee your registration.
An estimated 800,000 voters are expected to be captured on the electoral roll after the 21-day exercise.
Let's go back to our earlier story where MP for Boko Central Mahama Ayariga has been reacting on the postponement of the protest.
Who are generating interest in the protest, it is the issues that we are protesting against that are so strong that we believe that no matter what games the powers that be play and get the date to keep changing, ultimately the demonstration will take place.
Okay.
And ultimately we will amass in our numbers and will continue to demand the removal or the resignation of the governor of the central bank and his deputies. No matter what games anybody play, we will end up having the demonstration come on, and it will be massive. And so if people think that by continuously delaying and dragging on and creating excuses and etc., our commitment to demonstrate will wane, no.
All right,
we will only postpone the date that the event will take place.
Thank you.
And I can assure you that our rank and file and our supporters and the public will be there on that date to demonstrate.
Former President and National Democratic Congress flag bearer John Dramani Mahama has expressed concern over the Supreme Court's delay in scheduling a hearing for an injunction application filed by the National Democratic Congress and 4 other political parties against the Electoral Commission on the limited voter registration. The Supreme Court was expected to have scheduled a hearing for the application within a few days of its filing, but it is yet to do so. Mr. Mahama, in a Facebook post, criticized the delay, saying it does not augur well for public confidence in the justice delivery system. Extremely dangerous and represents the most brazen attack on the judiciary. This is the president's verdict on John Mahama's promise to even out the justices in the country's Supreme Court. Addressing the 23rd Bar Conference in Cape Coast, he urged Ghanaians to reject the NDC solely based on that comment.
One line of improvement will be to acknowledge political decision-making by our Supreme Court.
An often glossed over subject, but one at the very center of the country's democracy. Former President John Mahama criticized the independence of the third arm of government, the judiciary, as it is increasingly scrutinized for its role in preserving law and order. The NDC flag bearer described the apex court as packed with justices affiliated with the ruling party. President Akufo-Addo expressed his revulsion for the controversial comment made by the former president, focusing on his integrity.
Not only are these concepts of, quote, MPP and, quote, NDC judges new in our public discourse, they are also extremely dangerous and represent the most brazen attack on the independence of the judiciary by an allegedly responsible politician of the Fourth Republic.
The acting executive director of the Ghana Integrity Initiative, Mary Awelana Ada, has urged President Akufo-Addo to provide tangible evidence of his administration's success in the fight against corruption. During his speech at the Ghana Bar Conference on Monday, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo asserted that his government has undertaken the most substantial anti-corruption initiative since the country's independence.
I am struggling to appreciate the statements of the president. I say so because I do not know what evidence the president is using to make these assertions. Admittedly, we would say that each government since independence has done something in the fight against corruption. However, the success rates of these initiatives would be what we should all be interrogating. For the president to tell us that he is the most successful in implementing very strategic initiatives or the most robust ones, then he should show us by evidence. And for us, when we talk about evidence, we are talking about CPI, which is the Corruption Perception Index. And the Corruption Perception Index since 2014 has been stagnating. We had 48 in 2014. 2017, it was 40, and then we went to 41 in 2018, 41 2019, 43 in 2020, 43 in 2021, and 43 in 2022. So that alone tells you a picture of the fight against corruption when it comes to the CPI. And also for the various experiential surveys we have carried out in the past, you would also see that citizens' trust in government's fight against corruption is one that has waned. The Afrobarometer talks about from a 70-something% to a 30-something%.
You're still watching the morning news on TV3 with me, Godwin Asidiba. A 9-member committee to investigate the explosion at the quarry site in Antoaboso in the Shama district of the Western region has been inaugurated. However, a local chief, Nana Afokweku, has expressed concern over the non-implementation of most committee reports.
The 9-member committee set up by the Western Regional Coordinating Council is chaired by the Regional Coordinating Director. Representatives on the committee are from the Minerals Commission, National Fire Service, Police Service, Health Service, Environmental Protection Agency, National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, Works Engineer of the municipality, and the Assembly member for the affected area. The committee has been given 3 weeks to present its report.
We are also giving them 3 weeks to present us a full report on the causes of the exploration and also to look out for other causes that we need to check in future. We also want to establish whether the company was up to speed with its own safety guidelines and licensing that they are supposed to go through. And we also would like to know whether the company had authorization to store those explosives. And then we also expect the committee to give us a recommendation to guard against future occurrences.
But Chief of Ohiamadwen, Nana Afokweku, bemoaned the non-implementation of most committees' reports.
What committee na no nkeka but we are recommendations we fen yeduma assembly man or could be policy wa anto no so two committee Minerals Commission all the security agencies in our assembly kan wa fan yeduma coordinating director the last time from the copy command nti the way see negligence in accident and negligence of duty.
Committees are always set up after every unfortunate incident, but the recommendations are usually not implemented. This is pure negligence of duty and not an accident.
It's not the first time. As a man, Yahweh. Yes, as a people, our there BB Bansana, Yatunu committee.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, Martin Eyisi, during a tour to the explosion scene, confirmed that STA at Sam's Enterprise was operating illegally. He stated that officials of the Commission had previously stopped them from operating, but then proceeded to operate behind the authorities.
It's an illegal site. When you pick intelligence, what do? You go there and try to stop them. If you need security help, you provide them. So the person or the enterprise did not have all the necessary documentation approvals to do this kind of thing. Because if it was a properly permitted activity, we don't. I mean, how do you store whatever led to, if you can call it explosives for now, whatever led to the explosion? I mean, if my inspectors are telling me that it is the same place that the people were living, nobody will have permitted that.
Chief Executive Officer of the Environmental Protection Agency, Henry Kokofu, also indicated that the agency is in the process of getting companies which have flouted environmental laws prosecuted.
Environmental Protection Agency permits come with what we call schedule. And in the schedules, there are conditions, both pre and after. So what do you do before you start operating? And what do you do during and even after the operations? So All these are what are flouted day in and day out. Once we catch you, we have to apply maybe administrative sanctions and possibly put before the court of law. And
let's get some reactions on the back of that. Private legal practitioner Theophilus Jimaga has raised objections to the composition of the committee tasked with investigating the recent quarry explosion in the Western region. His concern lies in the fact that the various institutions represented lack the essential experience and technical expertise required to grasp the intricacies of the situation at hand.
I don't think setting up a committee is the way to go in this. Reason being that we've had an Apiache explosion. There was a committee set up. Nothing came out of the work of the committee. And now no lessons have been learned in the Apiache explosion. Why then do we set up another committee? We don't know what will come out of it. So to me, there is no need for us to set up another committee. And I can't but agree with the chief that we set up committees after committees when things like this happen and nothing comes out. When we set up committees and they present reports, let's make the reports public. At least the parts that will be read and will be learned, lessons learned by the general public. And we all know. I can say that this thing is not the last one to happen. I think another will happen. So the committee is not the best way to go. And much more, look at the members of the committee. What expertise are they bringing to the committee to aid its work? We have a number of retired chief inspector of mines, retired inspector of mines. They're all there. They could contact any of them to go into this. But bringing somebody from the district assembly, the ambulance service, the fire service, what expertise are they bringing to help the work of the committee? I agree with the chief that this is negligence of duty. And I'm waiting for the day when somebody will sue the Minerals Commission, because they have the duty to police, the duty to monitor, the duty to inspect, and duty to supervise the use, the storage, the manufacture, and the transport of explosives. Explosives are stored in magazines. And when you take explosives, you need to have an inventory of the explosives you take. The other thing that worried me is which explosives company was supplying the quarry site with the explosive. They must also be held responsible, because before you supply them, you must be sure that they have the requisite permit to be able to operate using the explosives. But we are told that the quarry does not have the permit. If that is it, then something has gone wrong somewhere.
Let's do international news now. A remote village's survivors of the earthquake are coping with trauma while lacking both food and shelter. Meanwhile, Algeria is offering Morocco 80 specialized rescue workers from its civil protection forces to help the country with its relief efforts. The package to help includes a K9 unit, medical personnel, as well as emergency supplies in the form of tents, beds and blankets, a government spokesperson has said. Algeria had already said they would open their airspace to flights carrying humanitarian aid despite cutting off relations with Morocco 2 years ago.